is a notice of motion brought by Councillor O'Meara and Councillor Robertson for the renaming of Bronte Veterans Garden to Ralph Robinson Memorial Veterans Garden. And Councillor Duddick.
Your Worship, I wonder if we could waive the procedural bylaw in order to have it passed this evening.
Well, it's, I'm having trouble imagining anybody objecting to that. I'll consider that you've moved it, and I'll look for a seconder for your motion. Councillor Adams was the first to leap his hand up. Any objection to that? Council, that carries without objection. Councillor O'Meara and Councillor Robertson, would you like to speak to your motion? I think it would be in order.
Well, thank you, Your Worship, and thank you, Councillor Duddick, for doing that. We tried to time it as closely to Remembrance Day as possible, as that was always something that was a very special time for Councillor Robinson, and it was something he took a lot of pride in, and even when he had troubles walking in his later days, he still managed to be in the parade as much as possible. So it was a little bit of a late addition here. So Your Worship, if you might spare me a moment so I can read it out for those who may not have had a moment to read it. Whereas Ralph Robinson served Oakville as a councillor for 11 consecutive terms, a total of 36 years, and worked tirelessly and relentlessly to support Oakville and the community of Bronte. Whereas Ralph Robinson proudly served the community in many capacities, including president of the Minor Oaks Hockey for multiple terms, chair of the Oakville Terry Fox Run across 4 decades, a devoted Oakville Kinsman, and elected as a life member of the Kinsmen Club, and having received the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal in recognition of his contributions to Canada. Whereas Ralph Robinson's passion, dedication, and enthusiastic support of the students at St. Dominic's Catholic Elementary School led to the creation of the beautiful Bronte Veterans Garden. Therefore, be it resolved that in recognition of Ralph Robinson's outstanding contribution to Oakville and his legacy, particularly in the Bronte community, that Council renamed the Bronte Veterans Garden to be named the Ralph Robinson Memorial Veterans Garden. Ralph worked very, very hard for many years with many families of fallen soldiers, with teachers, with the unions at St. Dominic's to bring that to fruition. It's something that I know he had a particular passion in, and it's an honor for myself and certainly Councillor Robertson to bring this forward tonight. And we thank you very much for your support, Council, and at the appropriate time, I'd ask for a recorded vote.
Thank you, Councillor O'Meara. Councillor Robertson?
I was so blessed to be part of Ralph being at the Memorial Gardens with the St. Dominic School his final year as a councillor, and to watch the joy he had in doing that service with those children from that school, and the relationship he had with John McPhail, the teacher from the school, who really ignited that program. It meant what being a counselor is all about in terms of working with the community and bringing forward good, lasting memorials to what we're all about here. Honoring those soldiers, setting up that garden. Those children, you could just see the delight in their eyes as they went through that. And that's an experience that he made happen, and that, that will last them for a lifetime. So it's a great moment, and we're hoping for next June to meet with those students and actually unveil the sign so that they can be part of it, and it'll be a very special moment for everyone.
Thank you, Councillor Robertson. Shall I put the vote? As I do, I'd like to just acknowledge the many years of friendship that I enjoyed with Councillor Robinson, and that I know many of you did too. Councillor Robinson was always a constructive and positive person. He was a pleasure to work with, and his vast knowledge of the history of our town certainly helped all of us from one time to another over the last many years that we worked with him. Is there an objection to the motion? Madam Clerk, there being none, would you please record all the members of council as in favor of the motion so that the vote is recorded as desired by the councillor? Thank you. Now, Councillor Duddick, can I just make sure that